The snow fell thick and silent in the Montana wilderness, blanketing everything in white. Anna Peterson stood on the porch of her small log cabin, watching the storm intensify. At 27, she'd lived alone here for 2 years, ever since leaving the city after her parents died. The cabin had been their retirement dream, and she'd inherited it along with just enough money to scrape by if she was careful. She worked remotely doing data entry, made crafts to sell online, and lived simply. The cabin was rustic, one main room with a wood stove, a small bedroom, a bathroom with a temperamental water heater. But it was hers, and it was home. The knock at her door came just as darkness fell completely. Anna grabbed her father's old hunting rifle, more for show than use, and called through the door. "Who's there?" "Please," came a man's voice, strained and desperate. "My son is sick. Our car went off the road about 2 miles back. We need help." Anna hesitated only a moment before opening the door. A man stood there in a dark coat dusted with snow, a thick scarf wrapped around his neck. In his arms, he carried a boy of perhaps 6, wrapped in a plaid blanket, clearly unconscious or asleep. "Please," the man said again. "He has a fever. We need warmth." Anna didn't think twice. "Come in, quickly!" The man stumbled inside, and Anna could see now how exhausted he was, how worried. His dark hair was wet with melted snow, his face lined with stress and cold. "Put him on the couch," Anna directed, already moving toward her small collection of medical supplies. Life in the wilderness had taught her to be prepared for emergencies. The man laid his son down gently. The boy was burning with fever, his cheeks flushed, his breathing shallow. Anna felt his forehead and knew immediately this was serious. "How long has he been like this?" she asked, pulling out a thermometer. "It started this afternoon. Just a mild fever. But it's gotten worse." The man's voice cracked. "We were trying to get to the hospital in town when the road got too dangerous. Then we slid off into a ditch. I tried calling for help, but there's no signal out here." Anna checked the thermometer. 103 degrees. Too high, especially for a child this young. "I'm Anna," she said, forcing calm into her voice. "What's your name?" "Matthias. And this is Eli." "Okay, Matthias. We need to bring his fever down. I have children's fever reducer and we'll use cool compresses. The storm should pass by morning, and then we can get him to a doctor." She worked efficiently, giving Eli medicine, applying cool cloths to his forehead, monitoring his breathing. Matthias watched, helpless but grateful, as this stranger cared for his son with practiced competence. "You're good at this," Matthias said quietly. "My mom was a nurse. She taught me basics." Anna changed the cloth on Eli's forehead. "Are you from around here?" "No, we were traveling. I had business in the area." Matthias looked down at his son. "His mother died a year ago, cancer. It's been just the 2 of us since then. I can't lose him too." Anna heard the raw fear in his voice and understood it completely. "You won't. Kids are resilient. The fever will break." Over the next hours, Anna and Matthias took turns monitoring Eli. Anna made soup on her wood stove, offered Matthias dry clothes. Her father's old flannel shirts and jeans that hung loose on her butt fit Matthias reasonably well. They talked in quiet voices while Eli slept fitfully. "What kind of business brings you to Montana in winter?" Anna asked. "Real estate mostly. Looking at properties." Matthias was vague, and Anna sensed there was more he wasn't saying. But she didn't press. Instead, she told him about her parents, about choosing to stay in the cabin after they passed, about finding peace in the wilderness even though it meant loneliness. "Don't you want more?" Matthias asked. "Connection? Community?" "I have what I need," Anna said simply. "Not everyone needs the same things to be happy." Matthias studied her in the firelight. "You're very self-sufficient. I learned to be. Out here you have to be." Around midnight, Eli's fever broke. His breathing eased, his color improved. Matthias nearly collapsed with relief, and Anna saw tears in his eyes. "He's going to be okay," she assured him. "But you both need rest. You can have my bed. I'll sleep out here and keep an eye on Eli." "I can't take your bed," Matthias protested. You can and you will. You're exhausted, and you won't be any good to your son if you collapse. Anna's tone left no room for argument. Matthias finally agreed, but only after she promised to wake him if anything changed. The next morning dawned clear and bright. The storm passed. Eli woke up weak but alert, asking for water and his father. Anna made breakfast. Eggs from her chickens, bread she'd baked earlier in the week, coffee. "Thank you," Eli said shyly when Anna brought him toast. "You helped me." "You're very welcome, sweetheart." "How do you feel?" "Tired, but better." He looked around the cabin with a child's curiosity. "Do you live here all alone?" "I do. Aren't you lonely?" Anna smiled. "Sometimes, but I have the trees and the animals for company. And sometimes when I'm lucky, nice people like you and your dad stop by." After breakfast, Matthias asked to use Anna's satellite phone to call for help. A tow truck agreed to come retrieve their car, though it would take several hours given the road conditions. "We'll wait," Matthias said, "if that's okay with you." Of course. The day passed quietly. Eli, regaining his energy, explored the cabin with Anna's permission, delighting in the simple things: the wood stove, the cast iron pans, the lack of television or internet. Anna showed him how to feed the chickens, how to split small pieces of kindling. Matthias watched his son laugh and play, something he hadn't seen enough of in the year since losing his wife. "You've given us more than shelter," he said to Anna that afternoon. "You've given us peace. I don't know how to thank you." "You don't need to thank me. This is what people do, help each other." "Not in my experience," Matthias said quietly. "Most people want something in return." "Then you've been around the wrong people." When the tow truck finally arrived in late afternoon, Eli hugged Anna goodbye, making her promise to remember him. Matthias offered her money, which she refused. "You needed help. I helped. That's all." Matthias pulled out his wallet anyway, not to get cash, but to give her a business card. "If you ever need anything at all, please call me." Anna took the card politely, glanced at it, then froze. Matthias Keller, CEO, Keller Holdings. She looked up at him. Keller Holdings was one of the largest real estate and investment firms in the country. She'd seen articles about Matthias Keller, billionaire, philanthropist, recently widowed. "You're just a father whose son needed help," Matthias finished. "You didn't treat me like a CEO or a rich man. You treated me like a human being. That's rare. And valuable." He paused, then added, "The business I'm doing here involves buying land to create a children's medical retreat, a place where kids with serious illnesses can come with their families, free of charge, for respite and healing. After my wife died, I wanted to do something meaningful." Anna felt tears in her eyes. "I'd like you to consult on the project," Matthias continued. "You understand what it means to create a space that's healing, that's real. You have skills we need, and I think Eli would like seeing you again." "I don't know anything about running a retreat," Anna protested. "But you know about caring for people, about creating peace. That's what matters." Over the following months, Anna did consult on the retreat project. She helped design the cabins to feel like homes rather than hospital rooms. She trained staff in wilderness skills and emergency preparedness. She created a space that was both safe and free, structured and wild. And she spent time with Matthias and Eli. What began as professional collaboration became friendship, then something deeper. Matthias fell in love with Anna's quiet strength, her authenticity, her refusal to be impressed by wealth. Anna fell in love with Matthias's dedication to his son, his desire to use his resources to help others, the vulnerability he showed beneath his CEO persona. Eli appointed himself matchmaker, frequently reminding his father that Anna would make the best home. Mom ever. 2 years after that snowy night, they married at the cabin where they'd met. The children's retreat opened the following spring, officially named Anna's Haven, despite her protests, providing free respite care for families facing pediatric illness. On the day of the grand opening, Matthias stood with Anna, watching children explore the wilderness with the same wonder Eli had shown that morning in her cabin. "You saved more than just Eli that night," Matthias said quietly. "You saved me too." I was so lost, just going through motions. "You reminded me what matters." Anna leaned into him. "You gave me purpose. I thought I was content alone, but I was really just hiding. You brought me back to life." Eli ran up, tugging at their hands. "Come on! The kids want to meet Anna. They want to learn about the chickens." They followed him toward a group of children, some weak from treatment, some wearing oxygen, all eager and alive and present in this moment. Anna had opened her door on a snowy night to help a stranger and his sick child, never imagining it would lead here, to this work, this family, this life of purpose. Because that's how transformation often begins. Not with grand gestures or perfect planning, but with small acts of compassion extended to people we don't know, expecting nothing in return. We open our doors to those in need, and in doing so, we open ourselves to possibilities we never imagined. Sometimes a single night of kindness ripples outward, touching hundreds of lives. Sometimes helping one child and his desperate father becomes the beginning of healing for so many more. And sometimes, when we give shelter to strangers in the storm, we discover they were bringing us